Yeah, I think we're good. So, hello again, everyone, especially to those who are first timers with webinars with me. And today we have a new topic, which is professional best practices in Upwork. So, we'll get to discover several tips and tricks from top professionals here in Upwork. And please note that all the tips that you'll be getting from this webinar are optional because you are in charge of your business. All right. Okay, so before we jump in, let me just quickly introduce myself. So my name is Anne Junio, and I'm the Upwork ambassador in Asia. I'm based in the Philippines. I know someone asked that in the Q&A section. I've been freelancing for 10 years solely in Upwork, and my expertise is in process and quality improvement as well as in training. Okay, so now the goal of this webinar is for you to be able to build a profitable and rewarding business on Upwork and keep your business running smoothly. So we'll go ahead and discuss tips from, again, top rated talents, and everything here is optional because, as I've mentioned a while ago, you are the boss of your own business. Okay. Now, from our perspective, in setting yourself up as a business, all independent professionals are businesses, right? This is about, independent talent reducing their risk and taking advantage of benefits, like, say, for example, potential tax benefits, if applicable, and demonstrating credibility to clients. So, when you're ready to start your independent business, you should first address the legal and administrative requirements, if there are any, in your locality. So, independent professionals are self employed and they run their own business. There are some ideas for how you can start or how you can set up your business properly and increase your credibility. For one, you can register your business name. If you want to have a business name, check with your local accountant regarding, potentially registering your business in order to declare taxes locally. And another thing is, in most countries, you may need to obtain a work permit or probably a license before you can start practicing your work. So start checking it with your local authorities if you need to obtain things like trade license, a VAT certificate, work licenses, especially for lawyers, accountants, and doctors. Okay, you can also separate your business bank account from your personal bank account. So those are just some of the things that you may want to look at before setting your business up. Now, another tip is to perfect your Upwork profile. So today, I'll be enumerating the things you need to achieve just that. But I just wanted to let you know that if you want to see a more detailed information about all these, you wanna check out the website. It's called, or our website. It's called upwork.com/community/events. All right. So right now I'll breeze through it. So let's start off by establishing trust and confidence by completing all sections of your profile. So when we say completing all sections, it also means being consistent what you write in all the sections of your profile. Also, make sure that you update it regularly and make sure to use a catchy and descriptive title to pitch into prospective clients. Also, you can craft a professional yet personable overview, as well as use a professional profile picture. Okay, another thing that you can do is to stand out with a very impressive introduction video. Another thing is to like showcase your best work in the portfolio section, even if you're not in design. So I know for some of us, we think that, the portfolio section is just for graphic designers or any visual workers, but that's not the case. There's a lot of ways for you to leverage the portfolio section, and we have a detailed discussion about this in our previous webinar. I think the webinar was called winning profiles. So you can also check that out in the upwork.com communities up to upwork.com/community/events. So you can go ahead and explore all our past events there if you want to get more information about these. Okay. And then for newbies, this is especially for newbies, list your education, employment history, and certification since you're just starting and you still don't have the hours or past work that you can show off. So it's important that you list all those three in your profile. Okay, and then update your profile visibility and set your availability and keep a perfect responsiveness score, as well as evaluate your hourly rate based on your experience. So that's very important. So just to remind you guys, if you want to check it out, the check out the past webinars that we had, just go to upwork.com/community/events, and you can find the one that's called, sorry, winning profiles. Okay. Now, how do you multiply your chances of getting responses to clients? So there are a lot of ways. I'll go ahead and explain them one by one. But one thing that you need to remember is to never attempt to identify or reach out to a client outside of Upwork, because when clients post a job in Upwork, they want you to work within Upwork, right? So don't anticipate or welcome outside communication, because that's also against our terms of service. Okay, so here are the things that you can do to multiply your chances of getting a response. Number one is to don't assume that the client has read your profile. So even if they have, right, considering, like, let's assume that they have read your profile, they're probably considering several other candidates or other independent professionals, and the tendency is they might be already feeling overwhelmed. So the least that you can do is to provide all the relevant information while remaining clear and concise. That's also one way that you can catch their attention. Okay, and then tailor every proposal to the needs of each job and client. So explain to the client, why your unique skills make you a good match for a specific project. Like, let them know you've read the details, offer relevant feedback, and I'm pretty sure that the extra time will be worth it. Okay, and then don't spam prospective clients or send them cover letter repeatedly or excessively message anyone. So I mean, anyone, aside from the clients, anyone wouldn't want to be spammed with messages, right? Okay, the third one is to respond to screening questions first. So I'm sure a lot of us here have already answered screening questions one way or another, or in the past. So the thing that we didn't know before is that the first thing that the client see isn't the cover letter. It's actually the screening, your answers to the screening questions. So make sure that you make that extra effort to answer those. And because just think of this, like they actually took the time or took extra effort to ask for those questions. So make it count when you answer them. Okay, and then describe relevant experience to this job. So when we say relevant experience, don't just list general credentials. Make sure that you create or you curate a few super relevant skills or details, so they can see how you are truly fit for the job. Okay, and doing this can also relatively shorten your cover letter. So do not add a laundry list of services, of skills, expertise that's not really related to what they're looking for. Okay, and then you can also leverage portfolio to strengthen your credibility. Like, you can provide work samples, testimonials, and results. You can also tie examples to your upper contract. So this is what I was saying when I said the portfolio section is not only for graphic designers or interior designers, anything with visual content. It's not just for them. You can go ahead, and if you're a content writer, you can still leverage your portfolio or your work in the portfolio section. Okay. Now, we see a lot of independent professionals who, include the same links all the time, or they send a specific link, but they don't really explain why it's relevant or how it's related to the client's project. Or maybe they don't explain what it is they want the client to take away from viewing that specific example. So make sure to, create a concise detail about the link that you're adding to your proposal. Okay. Another thing is to outline your approach and initial plan for the project. When you show that you know how to map out a plan, so that gives the clients the feeling that they're in the capable hands of a professional, and they can really trust you to deliver quality results. And then make sure to end your proposal with a specific call to action. So when we say specific call to action, leave things open for further discussion, and do not just end your proposal with thank you or things like that. Give them something to act on. Like, say for example, you can ask a question that they can answer. You can propose a meeting time or schedule. That way they can know exactly what the next step is. Okay, and of course, last but definitely not the least, is to reread, edit, and consider. So proofread everything and always consider if you can get your point across with fewer words. So the reason behind it is because our clients appreciate the care and professionalism that we provide them, and it shows that you not only value your work, but you also value your time. So one way you can do it is you can use Grammarly.com. It's a free add-on, Chrome add-on. And in case you don't like that, you can also ask someone else to read your proposal and ask them, like, if you're the client, did I catch your attention with this proposal? Things like that. So get a pair of fresh eyes to check your work before submitting. All right. Okay, so how do you build excellent relationships with clients? So there are a lot of ways to do that, but the first one is to set expectations. So when we say set expectations, tell them how you'll provide update, when you'll provide updates, and just make sure to deliver. But we know that sometimes if in case you can't deliver, then just update them and tell them that there's gonna be a bit of a delay, and explain why. Just let them know and don't leave them hanging. So we understand that there are times when uncontrollable things happen and delays are inevitable. Just make sure to communicate. Always communicate with them so that they know what's happening to you, and don't never ever wait for them to follow up. Make sure to always take the initiative to inform them what's happening. Okay. Another thing is to account for and adapt to differences in time zones. What I personally do here is to ask the client the best time to reach them, so I don't disturb them probably from their sleep or whatnot. So that shows that I respect their space and their time as well. Right? This also comes into play when you mention that deadline to the client. So when you have a different time zone and you go like, I'll send it over within the day. So the question is, which end of the day are you talking about, right? Is it your end of the day or my end of the day as a client? So you have to clearly state that with the client. Just be clear. And the next tip is also related to that, which is communicate your availability and practice transparency. So tell them beforehand if you'll be out of office, or if you're going to have a vacation and you're not going to be available at a specific time, so you don't leave them wondering where you are in case something comes up and they have a question and they don't really know where you are. Okay, so make sure that you communicate that with the client. The next one is to be proactive. If you have certain suggestions on how to make your relationship run smoothly, be open and initiate a discussion about it. Clients appreciate the mindset that you show when you do this, because it lets them know that you're thinking ahead, and that you're someone who they can rely on, and not someone who always just depend on them and ask questions. Okay, and then be clear, precise, and thorough in your communication. Again, communication is key. Also make sure that you're clear and precise when you do it. respond to the client communications promptly, set expectations for the client at the beginning of the gig, and then follow through. Also, make use of post completion follow up. So, this can be as simple as, saying thank you for the opportunity to work on the project once the project ends. Or you can also offer additional services that you think they can benefit from. So, it's also kind of like, appreciation plus at times upselling your service or your skill set. Okay. All right, so establishing a routine after each completed job. This is like your after sales. So ask the client to close the contract and provide honest feedback, but never pressure them. So I think one way that you can do it is simply by saying, it was a pleasure working with you. I'd be more than happy to leave a feedback for you, but and I'd also love it if I can hear some of your feedback. So please feel free to leave one as well. So don't pressure them, like just subtly open it up to them. Okay. And then the next one is send a thank you message to your client and let them know if you're available for more work. So this is more like your after sales, like what I mentioned a while ago. Don't be scared to show your appreciation to the client for trusting you with their project. It would also leave the door open if you let them know that you're still available, you have the bandwidth for additional support. Okay, and then the next one is to request approval to display the finished product in your portfolio, because again, your portfolio is a huge factor in getting more projects. So what you can do, because portfolios usually shows your credibility and ability regarding that specific job. So go ahead and ask them if you can add the work you did for them in your portfolio, because it can definitely help you out with future projects. Okay? And then link the portfolio item to the contract itself. This verifies your work and it helps build trust with future clients. Okay, and then don't forget to adjust your hourly rate to account for new skills. If you've mastered a new skill along the way and you know that you bring more to the table now than, say, for example, 8 months ago, adjust your rate to reflect your skill level. Don't be scared to do that, because the right client will hire you regardless of your rate. Okay, add any new skills you've acquired to your profile. Again, update your profile. Make sure that all the list of services or skills that you have there are updated, are up to date, or these are the things that you really want to do. Okay, and of course, move on to the next job. Okay. Right, so more professional best practices. Again, first, do great work. Again, quality is everything. When you accept the project, you promise to complete the work and deliver high quality work. So misrepresenting your skills or failing to deliver or to perform the work as promised can result in low GSS score and disputes. Right? And then treat everyone with respect and professional courtesy in all communications at all times. Okay, and then be responsive. Respond quickly to messages from clients and Upwork support team, including the disputes team. So responding quickly shows clients that you are a credible source of support, that you're always there for them, and that you're committed to working with them on the project. Okay. And then be honest. Accurately describe your experience, skills, qualifications, and the services that you offer. Because, we know how things can get sour when we misrepresent these things, right? Clients can leave, for one, they can leave bad feedback, or they can send disputes, which can really hurt your online reputation in Upwork and will lower your chances of, getting hired in the future. Okay, and then of course, always put your best foot forward. Use a professional portrait picture and your real name for your Upwork profile, and make sure that your profile is free from grammatical and spelling errors. Because as they say, impressions last longer than you can imagine. So make sure that when you present yourself to the client, it's gonna be the best way possible. the best way that you can. Okay. All right. How do you stay safe in Upwork? So we actually had a lot of questions with this previously. So I'll go ahead and discuss some of the things that you can do to stay safe in Upwork. The first one is to secure your account. So the way it works is that whenever you're entering a password alone, is usually not enough. Okay. So when you enter your password, it's not enough to tell us when it's you accessing your account. In some circumstances, you'll be asked to enter a unique 6-digit code sent by text message to the phone number that you specified on your account. So the way you can set up the two-factor verification is to one, visit the password and security on your settings page, and then enable phone verification under two-step verification. It's probably similar with uh, email addresses. I know email addresses now have two-factor verification as well. Okay, so use your own account and your own identity. Never ever share your accounts and never fake your identity, because for one, this goes against our terms of service. Just be yourself, because this also protects your reputation and you are contributing to a transparent community. Okay, freelancers cannot share their account with another freelancer and let another freelancer log in, or else they may be suspended. So freelancers can never log into one of their clients' accounts on the client's behalf. So what the client can do in this scenario is the client can assign admin privileges to the freelancer instead, because if you don't do that, they will be suspended for violating the provisions. Okay, so another thing is to I'm not sure if everyone's aware of the ID identification verified badge. So we actually have this. It's part of our efforts to keep Upwork safe, secure, and fraud free. So we periodically ask users to go through identity checks. So independent professionals can earn the badge, the ID badge, we call them, to display on their Upwork profiles. It usually looks like a blue check mark beside the user's name. Okay, and to earn this badge, eligible independent professionals have to successfully undergo 2 stages of verification. So the first one is to provide us with a valid government issued ID and then have a quick video verification call with us. Okay, now after we've confirmed your identity, the new badge will be displayed on your profile. Okay, now if you're, I know some of you might ask, so who's eligible for this? So we're making this a requirement for freelancers who are earning on the platform. So the requirement is rolling out over the next few months. Once you become available for this badge, you'll be notified when you log into Upwork. So you just stay tuned for that. Okay, using one Upwork account allows you to build a strong reputation by consolidating all your activity in one place. Okay, so you can only have one freelancer account, because duplicate freelancer accounts will be closed by our team. Okay, you can open a client account or agency if you wish to, but make sure that you create it under your independent professional freelancer account. Okay, so in case you decide to have both a client and a freelancer account, you can definitely do that, but you have to do it under the professional under your freelancer account. So how do you accept payments through Upwork? Okay, make sure that you do it only in Upwork. Again, you have to make sure that all payments and transactions go through Upwork. Soliciting or accepting payment from an Upwork client of the platform is, again, a violation of Upwork's terms of service. So it may either lead to a permanent suspension and payment of what we call conversion fee. But we actually have two exceptions for this one. So the first one, in case both parties decide to, take the relationship off the platform, that's possible, but you have to pay the Upwork conversion fee. Okay, and the second exception is if you have maintained a relationship with your client for 2 years in the platform, then you can take the relationship of the platform without a fee. So you need to have like a long-term client for at least 2 years if you want to take off the relationship of the platform. Okay. All right. Now, if you're interested in the conversion option, simply you can go ahead and contact conversion fee at upwork.com. And if you want to know all about, the provisions in the conversion fee, you can go ahead to our customer support pages and then type in conversion fee. There's going to be a lot of answers that you can find there for your questions. Okay, so qualify for payment protection. So I know that this is very important to everyone. For you to qualify for Upwork's hourly protection, it needs to meet the following conditions. So the first one is the client has to have a verified billing method, and then billing hours with the bill your hours with the Upwork desktop application, and then ensure that documented work relates to the contract, and then stay within the contract's weekly limit, and check all requirements on Upwork pages, support pages. Okay. Now, before you even accept an offer, make sure that you read through the contract. And say, for example, there are instances wherein the client offers manual hours. Make sure to research what's protected and what's not by Upwork in terms of manual hours. Okay. Okay, same thing with fixed contracts. So whatever contract you're in, make sure you review it first before signing it or before even accepting it. And for fixed price contracts, all escrowed funds are covered by fixed price protection. And some best practices would be: number one, only begin working once milestones are funded in escrow. Sometimes, all you need is to send the client a gentle nudge or a suggestion to the client to start the project, because some of them are still not new and they're still not aware. That's why they haven't activated the milestone. So make sure to just let them know and at least try to suggest how to do it. Okay, another thing is to make sure that your clients have verified payment method. So in case the client is unverified, again, it doesn't mean that you won't accept the contract altogether. No, give them a chance, because maybe they're just new in the platform. They didn't know that they need to have a verified payment method. So what you can do is to again offer guidance, let them know that I would love to start the project with you now. I would suggest you go ahead and verify your payment method so we can kick things off. Things like that. Simple guidance, suggestions. That's gonna be great for your relationship as well. Right? Okay. So again, just a reminder, keep your communications on Upwork, because Upwork requires that communication takes place within the platform before the contract starts. Additionally, you cannot request or share contact information, like say for example, email, your phone, Skype. You cannot share all of those before a contract starts. This includes you can't place them in your profile, proposals, or in Upwork messages. What we did to solve that is to integrate Zoom with our messenger. So the way you can do that is click on the call icon in the top right messaging room with at least two participants. If you want to try that out, just go to your messenger and just click one room there where there are at least two participants, and you should see that icon that I'm talking about, and then select the option to start a Zoom meeting, and then click the link to join the meeting. Okay. All right. One thing though is that business or enterprise clients are exempted from these rules. So if ever you're in doubt, if you want to know more about this, you can learn. You can learn it through contacting Upwork support, so they can guide you through it. Or if you think that you can have a link where you can always go to. Just bookmark the Upwork support pages. Specifically, what was the name of? You can type in contact info sharing or sharing. Sorry about that. Sharing info on Upwork to know more about it. All right. Okay. So aside from what we've discussed, we also want you to know the types of jobs that are not allowed in Upwork. So the first one is the academic submissions, and then adult content are not allowed. Paid reviews as well, and unpaid jobs. An example of an unpaid job is when a client asks you to do a free sample or work that's directly related to their project. Okay, so when you see that, that's gonna be a red flag. Okay, in case you encounter one, you can flag it so our team can review the job post. And on your end, you also have to be careful with the following. You should be honest. Again, it is against the terms of service to, as a freelancer, you cannot self hire, and you cannot have a friend or family hire you, or you cannot pay for feedback. So those are some of the big things that you may want to remember. Okay. So please help us keep the marketplace safe by reporting. We should work hand in hand in making sure that Upwork is a safe and secure place for everyone, not just for clients, not just for freelancers, for everyone. Now, the way you can do it is when you see an inappropriate behavior, possible violations that you think are fishy or whatnot, contact our customer support. Okay, and then if it's a job posting, you have the option to flag it as inappropriate. There's gonna be like an a link there, or like a tick box that you can check. And then message center, you can go ahead and take advantage of our message center. The way that you can find it is that you can click the gear icon next to the timestamp to report it. Right. Okay, so other things that you need to be on the lookout for. So clients wanting to interview off platform is not a violation, but it can be an indicator of a scam client. So sometimes clients, it may be a scam client, but probably sometimes clients are not just aware of this because they're used to the default process when hiring, asking to uh, discuss things via this platform or whatnot. So make sure to inform the client about it, or suggest that you want to work with them, but keep it within the platform. So it can be a violation if you have to share contact info or information in order to connect. So which is why we have the Zoom integration, so you don't have to do all of that. Okay, so like for me, it's hard. I know that all these things, all the violations are really hard to remember because there's a lot, right? So what I usually do is when I see unusual things on the job post or request, again, these are my personal like best practices. I try to ask myself how this would affect me. Like things like, will this request sabotage my good standing in the platform? Okay, will it risk my getting protected of getting paid? Because say for example, you agreed to work off platform, that's not gonna be protected by Upwork. So that's a no-no for me. Okay, and but again, sometimes you just need to clarify things in your conversation. So if the client is offering to pay outside the platform, I usually won't decline it outright without informing him first, because maybe the client isn't just aware that it's not allowed. So I usually tell them about the policy and that I would really really love to work with them, but it has to be within the platform. And usually what they usually think is that, oh, thank you for telling me that, I wasn't aware of that, so at least now I know, so we can go ahead and move on to the project and accept the contract within Upwork. Okay, so again, communication is key in everything, especially with your relationship with a client. Okay. All right. So make sure that you're familiar with Upwork's terms of service, and because this sets forth the rules that all users agree to follow to help keep the marketplace fair, safe, and professional. We take our rules very seriously. Our enforcement focuses on allowing our users to learn and engage more properly. So sometimes we issue warnings, but sometimes we have to make more serious actions, including like pausing accounts or contracts, up to closing contracts and permanently suspending accounts. So it's very important to comply with the terms of service. Okay? This would also help you avoid getting interrupted with the current project that you're working on. Okay? Okay, so it's easier to comply if you know what the terms of service are, and you can read them on our website. You can go to www.upwork.com/legal, okay, to know more about